5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're now tuned into the 411 podcast and reading Between the Wines, powered by the Black Diamond Consultations Network. More than a podcast, this is a sanctuary for self-discovery, healing, and personal growth. Here, we explore what it means to live debt-free, not just financially, but spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Every episode is part of a journey across our weekly mentorship series: Spiritual Sundays, Mental Mondays, Transformational Tuesdays, Wind Down Wednesdays, Coaching Sessions Thursdays, and Financial Fridays. Each day holds space for wisdom, clarity, and real conversation. So grab your journal, pour your glass, and prepare to go beyond the surface. Because here, we don't just talk, we transform. And now, here's your guide through it all: entrepreneur, mentor, and founder of Black Diamond Consultations, N.I.G.G.A.Z.
What's going on? What's going on, y'all? Welcome on in to another episode of Reading Between the Wines. We are here, episode 16, when helping becomes enabling. So this is going to be a good show. I say that all the time. This is going to be a great show. I want to say thank you so much for joining. Shout out to everybody out there. Good morning to all y'all out there listening early in the morning, rocking with me. I definitely do appreciate y'all. Thank you to Facebook. I know y'all be up early in the morning listening, so I appreciate y'all for that. I want to say what's up to the YouTube family, the Live family, Spotify family. Again, I just appreciate y'all from wherever you listen to the 4-1 podcast. Welcome back, X, because we finally got that issue corrected. But again, this is life, so things happen, and we're gonna dig into that a little bit more when I get into the song of the day. But I definitely wanted to come in and say thank you to everybody who supports and rocks with us, and just thank you once again for that. With that, of course, I most certainly could not do any of this without my executive producer. I want to thank God for giving me another opportunity to come out here and learn, giving me another opportunity to grow, giving me another opportunity to just be me. And in that, there's lessons come along the way, and I'm thankful that I'm able to receive them in the state of mind that I'm in today. So again, thank you guys so much for all of this, because without you, none of this would be possible. And without each and every one of you out there checking in, supporting, following me from this platform to that platform, I could not do it without each and every one of you. Thank you all so much.
5.
Oh, we hit the wrong button on that one, but it's all good. It's all good. So, let's get into this. I've been waiting for this song of the day. Let's do it. Keep your head up. Tupac Shakur. I was sitting here thinking about the song of the day because Tupac is so powerful, so important to the culture, so important to music. Just think, his mother named him Tupac. Like, what was that? What was that like? Let's just, before Tupac even know who Tupac was, his mother named him Tupac. Amazing. Keep your head up. We are in such a different world right now that the only thing that we can do during this time frame is keep your head up. And I know that this is a financial show, and I'm not going to take it there, but just think about it. Think about what we have going on in this world today. We're hustling, we're working, some of us are hustling 2 and 3 jobs trying to do the right thing, and still there's still somebody there on the other end waiting to test you, waiting to see if you will take the bait and turn into the other person. But this is where we have to stay focused. We have to keep our head up. We have to stay focused because we know what's on the other end. See, one of my favorite scriptures that I have been studying lately Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. So we have to be very cautious and very careful about how we treat people. And I know during the test, during the trial, we can get caught up and we can get so fixated and worried about how people are treating us. But remember, keep your head up because be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, Lord knows that shall he also reap. And what goes up must come down. What goes around comes around. And injustice to another human being, oh, trust and believe that their day is going to come. But when that day happens, this is where I have to stay prayed up and I have to pray for my brothers. I have to pray for my sisters. Because when that day comes, it's not a time to rejoice in somebody else's downfall. But just remember, you reap what you sow. So just as somebody else might get what's coming to them, you have to make sure that you conduct yourself in a professional and a courteous manner because you don't want that to happen to you. What goes around comes around. Treat people as you want people to treat you. Keep your head up for my brothers and sisters out there hustling, doing the right thing, holding down 2 and 3 jobs, trying to get this financial thing on point. But sometimes we get tested and we get tried during the process. I'm just so fascinated by what I learn each and every day in the good book. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Song of the day. Keep your head up. Tupac Shakur, released in 1993. Yeah, it's going to be one of those episodes today. It's going to be a deep episode. It's going to be a great episode. And despite what we got going on here in New Jersey, I got some great weather out here. It's about 78, 80 degrees for the past 3 days. So I felt, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it. I've been thinking about this wine, so I'm bringing it to the forefront. Valenzano Winery, Berry Red Cranberry. This is a blending tart and sweet wine, and this award-winning wine can be served chilled or at room temperature. Crafted from fresh, local grown cranberries, Berry Red Cranberry wine is slightly tart yet moderately sweet. It pairs perfectly with light meals, cheeses, and salads. And I want to let y'all know that this is on a winery, keeping the Garden State green and growing. This is a New Jersey wine. From generating a portion of our own electricity to unmatched composition and recycling programs to source local grapes and fruits, Valenzano Winery proudly nurtures our passion. So, sampling a New Jersey local wine, and I love cranberry wine. And it's not summer yet, but these past couple days gives me the summer vibe. So this is exactly what I'm doing here, sampling this great berry red cranberry. So I want to say cheers. Thank you all so much for joining into another episode of Reading Between the Wines. And let's just do this. Let's get my friend, author, poet, Birdman 313 in. Cheers. Thank you all so much. Yeah, this definitely hit the spot. Definitely hit the spot. They also have a white version of this as well. So cranberry comes in red and it also comes in white. I'm thinking that I like the white version a little bit better though. Yeah, it definitely hits the spot. All right, let's go ahead and get author, poet, Birdman 313 on. What's going on? What's going on? How
Oh
are you?
man, how's it going?
70, 78 degrees. So I'm doing all right.
That's right. Yeah, I hear you telling me that, man. I mean, y'all hotter there than it is here. It's 72. But we've been having rain though for the last couple of days.
It's coming. So that's coming tomorrow. And just as well as we was in 70s and 80s for the past 3 days, now we about to go back down to the 40s and 50s again.
Same here. Same here. That's what they were saying. So I went out there out to the park today you know, while we was over in that area and got my little walk in and listened to some music and got my little prayer in, all the things I do when I go out there.
I know that's right.
Shot me some pictures and some videos, and then it started raining. And actually I got caught in the rain. So, but you know what though, it felt good though to get. It's been a long time since I got caught in the rain. I'm actually outside in the rain. Fell down on me.
Well, I saw them pictures and I saw them alligators or whatever they were, and I was thinking to myself, absolutely not. Nope. I want no parts
Well,
of it.
hey, the thing people always ask me about that. Oh, you kind of close. I'm like, I zoom in. I be on the patio where
Hmm.
it can't come up. The alligator cannot come up there. Now, if I see him go to a certain area, oh, I'm moving. Yeah, I'm definitely I'm getting in the wind, but I always zoom them in. I stand on the patio, and whichever camera or phone I'm using, I zoom it in and I get a picture of it.
You know,
And I tell people that I said, man, I be a lot of them pictures. If you see how far I was from them, then you will understand. I said I be zooming in, capturing all of that. I may take three pictures of the same thing from different angles, from different distances.
when I was done with alligators, when I learned that they can climb fences. See, I thought that they were just, slow walking, doing whatever they do.
Uh huh.
I know they can pick up they speed a little bit when they trying to come after whatever they're getting.
Yeah.
But when I heard that they can climb fences, I was like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I really like it, man, because it's nature. And I mean, up in the nature. I had people ask me, and I said, man, I'm just like off into nature. Now, when I take a walk through the park, if I don't see the alligator, yes, I'm looking around because I know he's somewhere in them bushes. And
You know what?
huh?
He liked Tupac just on the same album. I Get Around. You remember that hit?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I do. I look around as I'm walking because I know if he is anywhere in any of them bushes. Hey, matter of fact, I don't know if I ever told you this. It was like I think the second or third time I was out there. We had seen the alligator. It was on. I was on the patio. We started walking, and I started shooting videos from all angles because I was going to put it together. I started across this little brook, and you had to step on stones. And some told me, don't go back around. Seriously, man. And I stopped, and I'm like, okay, Diana's not coming around here. She must be standing on the other side. So I actually turned around, came back, and she was standing. She was standing over there waiting for me to come that way. As I walked over the other little bridge, there's a little pond there, a little small one. I looked over in there and I'm like, oh man, I would have stepped right by the gator.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good,
Yeah,
bro.
and then from that point on, every time we walked that little and crossed that little bridge, I always look to see if that gator, you
Nope.
know, and then when I did decide to go through that path one time, I stepped in a bunch of mud. I had to come home and wash my shoes, man. I had to put my shoes in some plastic bag. I had to take them off in the vehicle because they were so full of mud.
I told you what happened when we was in Cocoa Beach. I knew that there was this little reservoir or sanctuary or whatever they want to call it directly across from the resort.
Yeah.
And when I read the list of the animals that were in there and I couldn't even pronounce them or recite them back,
Uh-huh.
and it was like a covered, like you had to like duck down to get under there, and there's all this like trees and stuff above your head. I said, nah, I'm good. I
Yeah.
know I saw raccoons, and I'm like, nah, I'm good. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
We ain't
Well, I
going
mean,
in there.
in the other park we go to, we ran across raccoons. I mean, I even got a video of a raccoon going in a trash can and popping his head up, looking around.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have a story. We're gonna have a story about raccoons. I'll tell you. Yeah, we're gonna save that for another day. But I know that I came in contact with them 2 times, and when they were
Uh huh.
almost up, their backs were almost up to my kneecaps. I was like, "Nah, I'm
Yeah.
really good. I'm really good. I ain't never seen nothing big like that before."
Hey man. Yeah.
I don't mess with
I've
them all.
always been scared because they said if you see a raccoon in the daytime, I was always told a raccoon in the daytime was rabid.
Oh, I've
So
seen one in the daytime. I have,
I
and
have
I
too.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I have too. I have too. The old place where I used to live at, they had, and this coon here was huge, and actually it got hold to one of the neighbor's dogs. Was
What?
outside.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and the raccoon got hold to him, and he said, "Cause I had a Chihuahua at the time," and he said, hey man, he said, look here, keep your dog in the house or keep him close to you. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And then he said, you know, my little dog I had. I'm like, yeah. He said, oh man, the coon got hold to him. I said, no joke. He said, yeah.
You know what? Listen to this. Shout out to the people who eat raccoons. We gonna give that a game. Do you know I have family members that eat or have eaten? I don't know if they still do, but as a kid, I've had family members who have eaten raccoon. And you know what?
And I've heard a lot of people, especially Southern people.
Exactly.
And
So,
but
hmm
but you know what's so funny? When I went to Arkansas when I was working restoration, we went up there to repair a building that had been hit by a tornado. It was a hospital, and I mean it was cold out there. So these people they was giving away hot food. Went out there and they said, oh yeah, we got soup. They had all the things they had, and this one chick she said, I don't think I'm gonna eat that. She said, these are mountain people. They got coon and possums and big
mm-mm,
rats off in there. I'm like, oh, that's
mm-mm.
all right. I'm like, oh, that's all right, you know. And
Yeah,
I
we
did
good
not.
on
And
that.
and the guy he said, hey sir, we got some hot stew over here. I said, hey, I appreciate it, but I'm fine. I'm cool. He said, okay then. He said, well, we got a whole lot of it over here. I'm like, yeah, okay, and I'm like, y'all enjoy it. I wouldn't eat none of it. Cause none of my coworkers, they was like, man, I ain't eating that. You don't know what you eat with,
Mm-mm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I said, that's why I'm not gonna eat. That's all right.
Like I said, shout out to the people who eat it.
Yeah,
I know my family, they listen to the show too. So,
yeah,
listen, if y'all still eating it, that's cool. I know I never have, and I never will. But
yeah. And
yeah. So
And some people they don't have a choice. So I mean that's why I don't knock them. I'm like, man, hey, I mean, it is what it is.
yeah, it is. Now it's time to we could talk about this all
I
night. Now
know.
it's time to get into our money hack segment. So let's get right on into it. So give me a number. What?
5.
Oh, that's a good one. 5. I ain't got to go that far. Let's see what we got here. Number 5. All right. This is a good one. Let's stay on this one. So we want to tell you tonight, do automate your emergency savings. Every bank and credit union will be happy to set up a system for free in which each month or every 2 weeks or once a quarter, it's up to however you want to set up the frequency, it will automatically transfer money from your checking account to your savings account. This is the best way to save for any goal. Rather than to have to rely on your good intentions to set money aside, it's already done for you. How much you have automatically transferred is up to you. I have a challenge for you. Think of a sum that you think you could handle saving each month. So, okay, now increase it by 10%. Yes, I said 10%. I know you can do this. You must do this for you and your family's security. Need ideas on where to come up with money? We can discuss that and later. And of course, ways to come up with money is ways to do side hustles, ways to cut what you have spending currently, and other ways that you can get money from here to there. So there's always ways that you can come up with extra money when you feel that it's not possible. So what do you think about automated
Oh,
savings?
in a lot of ways, that's a good idea because then you don't have to think about everything that you got to pay at one time. And it's a good thing for a lot of people that have a busy schedule. They don't have to worry about their bills are taken care of.
And it's out of sight, out of mind too. So if you are saving for something and you have it taken out automatically,
Yeah,
and it's not in your checking account, not in your spending account, the chances are, if you're disciplined, that you'll be able to save, and it's done automatically and you don't have to keep digging in and switching and changing. However, if you have not built up that mindset and you have not built up that discipline and you have it easy access to your emergency savings fund and you're dipping in, buying new shoes, clothes, vacations, this, that, the next, the other. Soon as you put the $20 in on Friday, you're digging in and taking it out by Sunday. Um, that's not it.
exactly.
I used to be
Yeah.
that. I used to be that way. I put $100 aside, saying that I'm saving it, and next thing you know, I'm hitting up the ATM before the week's out.
Oh yeah.
So if you are in that mindset, and I know that people listening, you might be in that mindset, and there's nothing wrong with that because this is a growth process and this is where we need to get to. But if you are that person who puts money aside and you have good intentions and you want to save, but yet you keep digging in and taking it out, you have not hit your financial rock bottom. I will repeat that again. If you are a person who wants to save and you have a good heart, you have good intention, you put the money aside, you know what you're trying to do and trying to build, but yet you still can't stop yourself from going in and taking out and spending because you haven't budgeted properly, that means you have not hit your financial rock bottom. People who have hit their financial rock bottom, listen, when those credit card things come in the mail, you cut them up. You know full well that once you whatever you put aside is what you put aside and you ain't gonna touch it. You know what a true emergency is. Them new Jordan, that vacation is not an emergency. A true emergency, you already know what that is. Your car breaks down, somebody gets hurt, there's a hospitalization. Anything that is not in the norm, those people, you have hit your true rock bottom and you understand, you know what it truly means to save. I'm gonna get off my get off my soapbox because you know I could do this all night. But all right, you ready to get into tonight's assignment?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get into this one. This one's gonna be a good one. We're going all the way to Memphis, Tennessee. I've never been to Tennessee, but every time I think about Tennessee, I think about the group Arrested Development. I love the
Yeah.
song that they had, Tennessee. So
Yeah.
we got Darnell. Darnell says, I'm the one everyone calls when things fall apart. My younger brother can't keep a job. My cousin is always between situations. My mother lives on a fixed income and sometimes comes up short. When the phone rings, I already know that what the conversation is going to be about. At first, helping felt right. I make decent money. I figured that's what family does. You set up, you step up when people need you. But lately, I've been feeling something I don't like admitting: resentment. Last year, I sent thousands of dollars out of the door helping different relatives. None of it was planned. None of it was part of my budget. and none of it came back. Meanwhile, I still carry credit card debt and trying to rebuild my emergency fund after draining it more than once. The hard part is this: when I say no, I feel like I'm abandoning people. When I say yes, I feel like I'm abandoning myself. I don't want to become cold toward my family, but I also don't want to keep putting my financial life on hold because everyone else refuses to get serious about theirs. That is something else right there. I'm going to have to say that again. Darnell says, I don't want to become cold towards my family, but I also don't want to keep putting my financial life on hold because everyone else refuses to get serious about theirs. And his question is, where is the line between support and enabling? Birdman, take it away.
This one here, I've been thinking about this one here. It's always the one that's doing good that everybody, kind of looks to. They say, oh, if you have this financial problem, go talk to this person, And at first, you like he said, he felt like he was doing something for the family. And then I sit back and I thought about it, and I'm like, well, dang, man, here it is. His brother can't keep a job. And you want to ask why. He got a cousin in all kind of situations. You want to know, ask why. Well, those two right there be cut off completely.
I
And,
know that's
I
right.
wouldn't care if it hurt their feelings or not. But it seems like sometimes people like those two there, if you keep saying yes, they're going to keep coming, and because they're going to sit back and say, oh, my cousin, my brother, he going to help me out. They're not going to even try to help themselves. And sometimes you got to let a person fall on their face before they realize that they have to get out there and do something. Now, his mother's situation, I think that if he went over there and talked to her and try to help her get her bill situation right and quit getting in these jams, she will probably make it. And sometimes saying no is the best thing you can do.
I know that's right.
I mean, I've had to say no, or I'll say, well, hey, hit me back at the end of next week if you ain't figured nothing out. And then if I see you ain't trying, you just try, then I'm feel like you're using me because I'm doing well. Because the situation is when he get in bad financially, who can he call on? If those three people right there can't help him out, who he gonna call on? If they can't even help themselves out, how can they help somebody else out?
I know that's right.
And I would just have to say it. Hey, look here. I have my bills too. Y'all ain't the only one that have bills. I can't even put y'all on my income. That's my favorite word. I can't even put you on my income tax. But
I don't.
that's
Yeah.
my situation. Like with me, I tell my sons, hey, I prefer for you to ask me than to ask some stranger or do something crazy,
Mm-hmm.
But check out all these other options. And if they fail, I'm going to hook you up. And because don't get me wrong, I've been in a situation where, everything failed, but then I had to sit back and I never gave up. And then things, I found a way of taking, like, I had to find a way of taking care of rent. Having three teenagers living. Well, one was a grown man. Well, two of them was grown, the other was a teenager. But one of the girl had a situation, And I was out there hustling. Then one day I came in screaming and hollering at them. They thought I had lost my mind. I said, why am I getting up early in the morning, going to these places asking for money to pay rent?
Well, I
When y'all
remember you
laying,
telling me that. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember you telling me
yeah,
that.
when y'all laying up in here sleep. Now, yeah,
Mm,
you know what?
what?
This is it. And see, as far as my youngest one, he was still in high school, so I wasn't mad at him. I wasn't. It was only actually it was one of them. I was like pissed off with, put it like that, because I know how he tried to use people all the time, and it was just one of them that I was really didn't. I was like, man, and one of my sons said, "You remember what Grandma told you if she ever passed away, and what Dad was gonna do?" Say, "You don't believe him." He said, "But you know what? Dad at the end of his rope with you."
Mm,
So, sometimes you have to say no.
yeah.
And no matter how bad it hurts them, yes, it's going to hurt me, but I'm quite sure you'll find a way of whatever situation it is that you need some financial help for. Oh, you'll find a way.
Ooh, now you just said something that was so profound. I'm sure that it's gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt either. First of all, I'm gonna just break it down this way because you said something so profound. It's gonna hurt you to say no because sometimes we don't want to say no, but no could be the best thing. But check this out. It is gonna hurt both of y'all even more if you don't say no, because all you're doing is enabling the situation. You're not correcting the situation. And most people believe that once I get a better job, once I get more money, once I, win the lottery, all of these crazy things, once I make it, big in the music industry, all of these crazy concepts and things that these people come up, they think that more money is going to solve the problem. But the worst thing that you can do, and for those of you people who don't want to say no, when you give money to family members, close friends, people who you love the most that have not developed the financial fortitude to be able to sustain and maintain that type of money that you're giving them, all you're doing is just creating a bigger problem. They figure,
Yeah,
hell, why do I need to even do anything? Because, my cousin got me. Why do I even need to do anything? Because when I run into a jam, my girlfriend gonna hold me down. Why do I need to even do anything? Because if anything happens and this situation don't pan out the way that I want it to be, my dad or my mom or my sister is gonna, bail me out. That is the worst thing that you could possibly do. And those family members that might be pissed off, might be hurt, might be feeling a certain way about you at the moment, when they wake up, they'll say thank you. But if they don't wake up, they'll still continue to be on that ill train of, oh, this person don't care about me. This person, think that they're all of that. They, rose to the occasion, but they can't pull and lift somebody up. Let them stay exactly where they're at. But those ones who hit that financial rock bottom and a light switch goes off, they're going to come up to you and they're going to thank you and say, you know what? I appreciate you for being tough on me. I appreciate you for being hard on me. I appreciate you for telling me no, because all I was going to do was mess up that money anyway.
exactly. And like I said, like my two youngest sons, I don't have no issue with them there, because when they do ask me for some money, they say, "Hey, Dad, you got $10? Hey, Dad, you got $20?" you know, yeah, sometimes I don't say nothing. I just say, yeah, okay, like that. And then, I go ahead and send it to them. Then hey man, did y'all get it? You know, because, I know, I can do that. And it's not always, and they're not hitting me up for no 2 or 3 or $400. Because if they was, they know what the answer is before they even ask. It's gonna be no. It's gonna be a hell no, you know, because now, if you got yourself in that type of jam, you need to learn how to get yourself out of that jam.
Hmm. I'm sitting here looking up something. Now that I'm on this, I'm gonna look this up. Um, because it's so important, because the good book says it all the time about the bottom line with this whole situation is that you have to pull your own weight. I know I spoke about this earlier about a cost of living. Some people on our jobs, we get something which is called a cost of living adjustment.
Yeah.
And that's what that means. There is a cost in this world to live. And
Yes.
I'm looking this up. I want to look this up. So I'm like I'm so adamant about looking this up. So give me a
Yeah.
second. Bear with me.
Oh yeah,
Um
no problem. But yeah, and like I said, I remember when my mom, when she was living, and my dad passed away, and she in the house that she was living in, and then she was telling me how it was, and I said, Mom, your income doesn't match your bills every month. I'm gonna find you a place because this is a 3 bedroom house, too big for you to live in by yourself. And
mhm,
I went and found her, at a senior, but I looked around and it was senior living spot. And then at first she was like, oh, no, no, no. I said, Mom, you'll never pay this house off. I said, I don't know why you and Dad even invested in this house from the get go. You wait till y'all 60 and you retired and you move down here. I said, I understand you move, but you'll never pay this house off. And, I said, it's too many things going on with this home for you to try to take care of. So I found her a little, place. And I said, look, Mom, this is what you pay a month. This is how much you're going to have left over. And when she seen that, she smiled,
mm,
because I said, I said, you got your phone. I said, they got free cable here, grocery store right down the road, bank right across the street. All the little restaurants you like to go to, like McDonald's and Subway, right across the street. You'll meet some new friends. Since this is a senior living place, they'll deliver it to you so you don't have to go out.
mm.
And after a month of being there, man, she was like, oh, why didn't I do this long time ago? And I said, hey, because I said, when you knew I was coming back to live here, and I said, that's the reason why. I said, now that I got my own place, and my youngest sister, she wasn't coming back down here. She would just barely call mama. And I said, hey, I said, you're taking care of, Mom. I said, I said, this is what I was trying to explain to you.
Right, right.
And, but I made sure that, where she was living at and how her income and how she could, take care of everything she needed, without it affecting her money. And she had money left over. And I
Mm.
said to myself, hey, I could do this for you, but I couldn't do it for myself.
But
you know,
you know what?
and
It
I
was
was
a
like,
yeah. I want to say it was a lesson because we go through lessons and stuff, but what you saw your parents experience, now you know, okay, I got to do something different so that I don't experience the same thing. So you already know that knowledge ahead of time, so now you good.
yeah,
And then you just teach the next generation and the next generation. See, the issue is that when we just go along with the plan, because sometimes our parents and people before us, they only knew what they knew, and you can't blame
right,
them, you can't fault them for that, but it's up for the generations behind them to come up and think a little bit differently.
exactly.
So once you know that knowledge, you good. Just have to make sure that the next generation and the next generation, this is how generations get wiped out. And I know we going in deep, and I knew that this was going to be a deep show tonight. But basically, what we're speaking about tonight, this is how generations, a full generation, can get wiped out. If someone is not smart enough to say, you know what, I deserve better. I seen how mom and dad and uncle and grandmom and grandpop struggled. Let me do something differently. When you just get up and you go along with the plan and you follow in the same exact footsteps and not pushing the envelope or pushing the needle to do a little bit more, okay, be careful now, because if you follow them footsteps, you better hope that the person who was in front of you set a good example. Because if they are headed to hell in a handbasket, trust and believe you're gonna get there quicker than they were.
Exactly. And I mean, that was one of the, I did, like, and I was thinking about this guy. Hey, you say your mom is on a fixed income, and then there's times when she get behind. Well, why aren't you over there making sure that all her bills? And see, that's what I did. I said, hey, I got like, when I got with my mother, I told her how much her rent was gonna be. I said, this is all you got to pay for, mom. Everything is taken care of. Say, hey, when you need some food, call me. Even when I didn't have a vehicle, come on. I said, call me. I'll walk down there to the store and come back. Or, I would bring one of my sons with me, and we would go and we would get her groceries. Hey, we'll walk back because it went in but a block away, but she couldn't walk that distance. And or like she said, hey, could you go to the bank and get me some money? Sure, it's right across the street. So I say, I put you in a spot that's convenient for you, so that if I'm not around, one of my sons would go over there and help her out. And you didn't have to worry about somebody taking off with your bank card and being gone for 2-3 hours, and you come back and you look at your statement and you got a whole lot of money missing.
Yeah, yeah.
And then those was the things I was thinking about. And like I said, it's funny because I could do these for her, but then my situation was I couldn't do it for myself.
Hey, listen, don't feel bad about it. I was telling myself this is why Black Diamond Consultations exists, because I sat down one time and I said, you know what, it don't make no sense. You're sitting here running multi-million-dollar companies for these people. You're running multi-million-dollar companies for all of these corporations, from this corporation to that one, and coming up with all these plans and helping somebody else build their business and doing it for years with a smile on your face. But I just got disgusted with myself because you can't even manage your bank account. How you gonna manage somebody else's money? Look at P&L statements, go back and forth and do backflips to help them save and make sure that they come in budgets, but you couldn't even do it for your own family? That was the game changer for me. That's when I said, okay, Black Diamond Consultations has to exist. We need to do something a little bit differently, because how the hell you spent 20 years in retail? How do you spend 20 years in retail managing somebody else's money and you can't even do it for yourself?
Exactly.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're not doing that. I'm gonna leave you with some scriptures here before we get on out of here. I know we up against the clock, but I was dead set on figuring this out here. There's so many. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible has 75% teachings about money. I don't think y'all heard me. I'm gonna say it again. The Bible has 75% of the Bible, the Holy Bible, that same one that people sometimes refuse to pick up because it's so religious and it's so spiritual and oh this and oh that. In that book, that same book that you might have talked some crazy talk about back in the day, or maybe just yesterday, 75% of that book is about managing your finances. Now, Proverbs has a lot about it. This proverb says, the rich man's wealth is strong. Excuse me. Proverbs 10:15. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteous tendeth to life. The fruit of the wicked is sin. Now, I can go on and on and on, but several different scriptures speak about people who refuse to get up and do what they're supposed to do and tend for themselves, which is basically the cost of living. If you're sitting around being lazy, it ain't gonna work for you. If you're sitting around waiting for somebody else to pay your bills and make your way, it ain't gonna work for you. All of this stuff is in the Bible in several different books, and listen, it's real, it's deep. I'm telling you. When I found that out and I knew that, I said, okay, this is a game changer. Okay. Now,
Oh yeah.
We got to get on up out of here.
Yeah.
I know we up against the clock, so go ahead and let us know what you got going on this week, what you have going on.
Tomorrow evening, I have the it's a program I'm on once a month, every Thursday. It's out of Hackensack, New Jersey. We sit back and it's a couple poets and musicians, and we just sit back and talk about our projects, what we're doing. It's just a friendly thing amongst us. And then Saturday and Sunday, I don't know which day it is, but I know, and it might be next week. I don't know. They flip flop every second and third Sunday, but right now I don't have nothing going on. Only thing I have going on is working on some videos. Since my book is gone, sent out already, all I'm doing is starting to write new stuff. All of it is nature videos, and I've been putting bass guitar chords to two of my poems. And I spoke to my friend up in Austin, and she said we need to start back getting together with working on some music. So, and then
Mm,
my books are on Amazon.com/author/Birdman313. You can also go to YouTube at youtube.com/author poet Birdman31355 to see all my videos. Some of them is live at open mics, and some of them are videos that I shot like when I go to the beaches or to the park. You can also go to Instagram at Birdman31355. I post from time to time what you've seen. I post a poem. I post pictures. I post a video sometime. But like a friend of mine's in Austin told me, he said, "You post a poem every day when you post a picture." So
mm.
I take that into consideration. I post and I try to post, you know, different pictures from different places. So, and on Spotify, Coffee, Wine, and Words, I have a video. I have videos there, which I'm going to send. I keep saying this. I've been saying it for the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna send a new one to see if will it get accepted. That's about it.
Okay.
That's about it.
All right. All right. I appreciate that. This was a good show. I appreciate that.
Yes.
And of course, I will talk to you when I talk to you. I know we got a lot of different things going on, but March is something else. You say they say March comes in like a lion. It sure is because I got some behind the scenes stuff I got to deal with. But
Yes, I have a lot of
yeah,
events coming up, so I'm preparing this week for starting preparing to get my poems together for each one.
that's what's up. That's what's
Yeah,
up.
because like I said, the next 2 weeks, it's gonna be. I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna have some starting on. It starts Wednesday, and then it's like two programs Thursday, two Saturday, two Sunday. That's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to April now. So,
Wow, you're jumping
so
ahead, jumping ahead.
yeah, I gotta fix some things behind the scenes, but
Yeah.
all right. Well, let's go and get on out of here so we can hit our deadline. And I appreciate you, and I will see you when I see you.
Okay, take care, man. And thank you
You
for
too. Take care.
thanking you for having me on each week.
Oh, absolutely. This was a good show. I did definitely enjoy this.
Yes.
So more to come. More to
Oh
come.
yeah.
All right. Take care
Yeah.
now.
Tell SOS I say hello.
Yes. What's going on, Miss SOS? How are you? I know we on frame, but uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Miss SOS.
Yes.
All right. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That was author Poet Birdman 313. Oh, I also want to let y'all know to stay tuned, please, because we have this 6 Vitality live coming up soon. So in a couple weeks, y'all gonna be able to see all of my guests face to face and all that good stuff, and lights, camera, action is gonna be on. So stay tuned. So same time, 5 a.m. in the morning, but we're gonna be up. We're gonna be up sampling wine and doing all that stuff at 5 a.m. in the morning. So you're going to see exactly what it's like at 5 a.m. So, on that note, I want to go ahead and get on up out of here, but I also want to leave you with this one last scripture before I just had to do it. I'm in Proverbs, and Proverbs 6 says, "Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise." One thing about the ant is that the ant is always working. When it is summertime, the ant is thinking about winter. As soon as winter comes, the ant is thinking about summer. So if we act as if the ant does in all of the things that you do in all your might, not saying it is going to work out 100%, but the chances are that you will be on point as if you have a work ethic of the ant. You know that that ant is always working. Look at an ant. They'll never stop. And of course, I'm not saying that that's the life we want to be where we never stop, but if you do what you're supposed to do when you were younger, by the time you get old to the point where you can't do it no more, you will be well off because you have had that ant mentality from day one. So go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. And on that note, I want to say thank y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining. This has been an amazing episode. And of course, we got to go and get out of here and pay some bills. If you have any information, want any information, consultation, head on over to N.I.G.G.A.Z.com and sign up. Thank y'all so much. I will see you when I see y'all. Have a good night.